Ahoy there, and welcome back to DohMance Dawn for our 102nd episode. That's right, you're listening to 102 the DohMance, your home for classic jazz, 70s R&B hits, and more. I'm the Gooch, and as always, I'm here with my co-host, Hound Dog. How you doing, Hound Dog?
Okay, let's Gooch.
I was not thinking where I was going there.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan, but then it just like suddenly dawned on me that no way, I'm a participant, and then my brain shut down.
Hi, I'm Luke, they, and I am joined by my lovely and wonderful co-host, Janine.
Hello, my name is Janine Juliet. My pronouns are she, they, and I don't have a third thing to say.
You love the Gooch. Oh, God. What a mess. Hold on, I'm going to turn the fan on in here.
Listeners, we would love it if you could be able to talk about DohMance Dawn using the hashtag
Love
the Gooch.
Mm-hmm. Because there's no other meaning for that. Yes, this is our 102nd episode. We're going to try some new format stuff, because like we mentioned last time, we're getting close to the end of this version of the show. I feel like, just cost-wise, it is not a responsible use of finances to keep going this way. But Janine and I both do want to keep doing the show, so we're looking at potentially doing it as a video stream or something. Thank you to everyone who has either chipped into the Patreon or let us know. So, what we're going to be trying in this episode before we get into it is we're going to cover Simpsons the same way, because nobody has really watched these episodes of The Simpsons, or I think we get more out of discussing what works, because these are individual episodes, and we are getting into an era which was the point where my wife and I a few years ago started rewatching The Simpsons. And we started, I believe, from this episode, which was a rough one to kind of start with, but we continued on. So, yeah, we're going to talk about Simpsons the same way, but then for One Piece, we're going to turn this a bit more into a discussion. We're still going to do the fun title reads that we do every episode, but then instead of having me recap the episodes, because if you are watching One Piece, you generally have an idea of what goes on, and I feel like me summarizing the episodes isn't that fun. And so, yeah, we're going to give this a shot for a few episodes. Let us know what you think. You can either join the Discord or what have you. But let's get into those Simpsons. These episodes initially ran between August 25th through September 29th of the year 2013, and we've only got one episode of Simpsons this time, Janine.
Yep, it's kind of a strange, weird hook where we get just one Simpsons and a whole scoop of One Piece.
Yeah. This episode is Homerland. Homer goes to a nuclear convention and gets lost on the way home and returns seemingly hypnotized. He doesn't want to eat pork, drink alcohol, or have sex, so Lisa gets worried and becomes concerned that he might be brainwashed into becoming a terrorist, especially after she sees Homer seemingly praying to Mecca. Lisa calls the FBI and they send in an agent to investigate. And when Lisa sees Homer sneaking a machine into the power plant, she tries to stop him, but he reveals that he had actually been picked up by eco-friendly activists who detoxed him. Everything else she saw was a coincidence. He's been trying to keep clean, that way he could go through his plan to drive everyone out of the plant with a stink bomb. The FBI shows up, but Lisa activates the stink bomb, and so the power plant gets shut down for a brief while, and Homer returns to normal. This is also the start of the 25th season, so we get a couch gag at the beginning and end of the episode. At the end of the episode, Homer is not allowed in past a gated, like a barred velvety rope thing, but we do get to see the cast of Family Guy, the cast of American Dad, the cast of Cleveland Show, and the cast of Bob's Burgers show up. And you know what the ironic thing is here, Janine?
What's that?
The Cleveland Show was canceled. Like, it did not come back when this episode of Simpsons aired.
Ooh, wow. Oh, wow. That sign when they all held up that,
Yeah, black cartoon characters matter.
yeah.
Yeah. It's awkward. This was also meant to be the end of season 24, with the train episode being the start of season 25, but production stuff happened, and so they swapped that around. This is also like a weird Homeland parody episode, and I only know stuff about that show from other parodies of Homeland. Namely, I believe that was the show where all of the Islamic language speaking people they hired to do graffiti and background art in the shows were just writing messages about, hey, this show is racist, this show sucks. And nobody caught it. So yeah, it's we're once again getting into the Simpsons does not handle this sort of racism well at all, and putting Lisa in as the person who is actively being racist and paranoid doesn't fit her character.
I will say, though, that Kristen Wiig does a pretty good job on her guest role for this one.
Yeah, I think that Kristen Wiig is a good voice actress. She has fun in a lot of roles. And then I believe, because she was Annie Crawford, the FBI agent, who was also dealing with a lot of hallucinations herself.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's kind of like maybe too wacky at the same time for the material that they're covering.
I don't know. I thought that it was a good way to kind of bring things down a little bit and just kind of show that this is being silly, because otherwise you're just directly throwing Islamophobic propaganda. I
mean, you're still kind of throwing... Again, I think the big problem is it's Lisa who is having this escalation. I think that this might be I don't think they could justify Bart doing it, but maybe Marge? Marge being the person who cares for him, who sees that everything that she has provided in the past is slipping away, and he is no longer the man who she thinks as her husband, might have fit. And maybe we get some scenes where he's actually being a better father because he is living clean and sober. That could have been, I think, a better twist that would be less offensive to Lisa. I don't know. I mean, it also speaks something to the Islamophobia that is still inside of white liberalism. Yeah, but we also get scenes where Lisa's a lot more... I think this is just a bad look for Lisa, and it's kind of a bad episode. It's not the worst sort of episode, but it's just one where our main issue is something that we're talking about more than anything else. Anyway, any final thoughts, or are we good to move on? We had a really sexy moment with Nelson's mom, but that's just something that I wanted to call attention to for anybody who's into that.
A person who's very turned on by middle-aged women.
Yeah, exactly. Those kind of people. If they're just thinking about where to start watching, season 25 does have this one scene, and it could be enough for you. Let me know, I guess. New characters we can use include Annie Crawford, Peter Griffin, Lois Griffin, Chris Griffin, Meg Griffin, Stewie Griffin, Brian Griffin, Francine Smith, Steve Smith, Haley Smith, Roger Smith, Klaus Heisler, Cleveland Brown, Donna Tubbs, Cleveland Brown Jr., Roberta Tubbs, Rollo Tubbs, Bob Belcher, Linda Belcher, Tina Belcher, Jean Belcher, Louise Belcher, Papa Smurf, and many more. All right, and then we are discussing One Piece episode 609 through 614. Luffy's freezing to death, the terrifying snow woman, Monet. Fist fight. 2 vice admirals. Fight.
The smart dragon, Momonosuke revealed.
Deadly combat in Snowstorm. The Straw Hats versus the Snow Woman.
Secret technique blasts. Zoro's strongest one-sword style.
I'll protect my friends. Mocha's desperate escape.
All right. So I wrote down a few topics on our sheet here along with my normal taking notes because did you know every episode I write about a page full of recap notes that I typically just read and then I never post them anywhere? I still do that. I've got a problem. I'm great. Yeah, so is there any of these 5 topics that you want to necessarily talk about first?
Well, I too. Yeah, let's talk about Monet and Zoro versus the continued disrespect of Tashigi.
I feel so sorry for Tashigi because this is kind of the last big arc that we've really seen her in. Like, even talking to where we are today. And, like, she tries to stand up for her men. She's supposed to be, like, the counterpoint to Zoro's belief. She's supposed to be a really strong warrior. And instead, she eats shit, and Zoro has to save her. And initially, Zoro didn't want to fight Monet for sexism reasons, even though he denies that being the fact. And yeah, it sucks. She at least gets to finish off Monet, but even that, it's Zoro using Haki and Inma did 90% of the job fucking her up, and Tashigi gets the pity finisher.
I'm very interested to see how Netflix One Piece continues going forward with Tashigi, because so far she's been a more well-rounded character that has agency, who instead goes out and does stuff instead of the story happening to her because she looks like someone's dead friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if Oda had a real plan for Tashigi, it might be something different, but she gets less screen time than Buggy for a character who is theoretically really important to Zoro, and yeah, it just sucks. I want better for Tashigi. I'm hoping that in season 3 of the live action, we get a lot more Tashigi, because she does come to a big, like, turning point in that arc, and yeah, I want things to be better for her, because this is just sad.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Go off.
On the topic, I was thinking about another topic on here.
Oh, do you want to switch topics?
Yes, I do.
All right. What topic are we moving to next?
I'd really like to talk about Momonosuke.
Oh, yeah. Luffy falls into the trash during his fight with Monet, and that is where he finds Momonosuke, the tiny little boy turned into a dragon with the will and ethics of a samurai. How are you feeling about this little guy?
My first reaction, I even wrote it down, was oh god, he's going to talk like this the whole time, isn't he? And, like, it makes sense because that is,
literally a child.
Yeah, and growing up inside a samurai town, you have a samurai town accent.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just also, like, so much more annoying to hear a kid talk like that. I don't know.
Yeah, he's kind of a little dweeb. We are going to get to see him grow up and mature and chill out, and I think that's going to be important. Yeah, he accidentally ended up on this ship with all these other kids and wants to help them out.
And also, he's a dragon man.
Maybe he was just a dragon. And what do we know about Kinemon, his father?
Oh yeah, that guy hates dragons.
That's my shit. Yeah, it's doing a good job of setting up what is going on here. What are they talking about with this strange devil fruit that they had? And I'm excited to see some parts of Momonosuke and then just be very annoyed with other parts of Momonosuke. I want to talk about Caesar's sob story. Because, boy, is that guy a huge piece of shit, and I kind of love him for it. Because it turns out he just fucking lies to everybody like he's in charge of Theranos. It's like, yeah, no, Vegapunk was the guy who released all this gas because he was jealous of me, and he said that he wished that he could make poisonous weapons. I mean, cool science like I do, and he's the reason why this island isn't habitable anymore. Isn't that just awful? Caesar sucks. Like, Caesar is a horrible person. He has done undeniable war crimes. Caesar should hang, but it's also just like something about him works and is very cool.
Oh yeah, he's a pathological liar, but also he's very good and entertaining at it. So that is just like a very, I don't know, it is a great combination for you to look at because nothing's gonna stop him from lying about very terrible war crime things.
Yeah, he hates having any consequences. He hates not being praised for what he does, and I would love to see Bugs Bunny go up against this guy.
It's like, if you hate him for doing something that is a war crime, it might hurt his feelings enough to kill you more, or to try to convince you that, no, actually, this was a good thing, but Vegapunk fucked it up or something.
He has, I'm just a little guy, it's my birthday, don't hurt me energy.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, it's such a distinct type of enemy, and he sucks. I love him. I hope he dies. All right, let's talk about kind of the nowhere topic, which is the Smoker versus Virgo fight, because we aren't getting shit out of this fight. It's Smoker has powers, Virgo can't really be hurt. They're just kind of both stalling on each other, and Smoker's like, oh, I can't believe you did this. I can't let the Marines know. And Virgo's like, yeah, no, they already know. They saw me kill a bunch of them. It's just kind of not interesting.
There's no real good quips going on. Nothing's really advancing inside of the plot. If anything, they're just recapping things that we already know. And fucking Law is just in the corner fucking dying.
Please, my heart. I need my heart. Yeah, it's... but I mean, Law has confronted the sad machines in the sad factory. Do you want to make another prediction about the sad factory, Janine?
Is that a Porter Robinson song?
I don't get that reference because my mind is both gone to Cole Porter and someone else with... I want to say Cole Robinson, but I don't think that's a thing. Yeah, we'll see if that pays off. We're going to be dealing with sad for a while, just like me and my mom think seasonal affective disorder.
Yay!
All right, and then let's end on a high note, by which I mean, oh, these kids going to die. It's Mocha's candy sacrifice. We see these kids, these artificial giants, beat the shit out of Chopper, so he runs out of Rumble Ball time and turns back into the littlest guy. And then Mocha's like, no, you can't eat the candy. They are back in the biscuits room, which is infinitely long as whatever they need. She tries to stop Monet. She tries to stop everyone from eating the candy. And then Mocha just eats it all. And we get the flashbacks of, oh, these kids, once they got better, they wanted to go back as adults and sail the world when they turned 20. And oh no, Caesar Clown's evil experiments mean that most of them probably won't live for another 5 years. And he's just going to keep doing this shit. And it is tragic.
Yeah. Watching a child OD on Fent really made me wish that I learned how to make AMVs, because like I thought that, man, there's like a Goo Goo Dolls song that would just be perfect for this moment right now.
Is it Iris?
Black Balloon, maybe?
I don't know a lot of Goo Goo Doll songs.
You let us know.
Yeah, it's genuinely a heartbreaking scene, and it's also just such a highly engineered scenario. Like, part of me imagines that Oda just had to make a map while he was working on this arc of the complex and just kind of be like, okay, here's where everyone is. Here's what needs to happen each week. I'm putting on sticky notes, and this is how we're keeping track of things. Because there's a lot of moving pieces here, and it feels so much better to just talk about these big topics instead of spending like 30 minutes reading a page of notes that are trying to chronologically follow this. I like this feeling, Janine.
I do too. And if any of y'all like it, let us know. We can be able to continue in this format.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll probably keep continuing on it in this format for a while. Other stuff I like Brooke turning into a ghost and just flying through walls and looking for things.
I like the scenes that were flashing back between when Mocha first met these children and the monsters they became when they became addicts.
I like Momonosuke, this little nerd who refuses to eat food because it's improper for a samurai to eat food.
I like that when Nami got called one of the weaker ones, she like fucking squared up and was like, oh no, I'm gonna do something right now.
Hell yeah. I like Luffy and Momonosuke trying to figure out how to get out of the trash heap, and then it turns out that Momonosuke just goes into a hunger trance and starts climbing on clouds. Big mood. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. We find out that Momonosuke really hates pirates for some reason.
Honestly, it's kind of a popular sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we have not found out the trauma-related reason why, which I'm pretty sure there is going to be one.
Yeah, I mean, Kinemon hates dragons. He probably also hates pirates, so hopefully there's not some sort of pirate dragon out there.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's right, it's a pirate dragon watch.
God damn it.
Uh-huh. It's fine, we've technically seen him already, but it is not something the Jedi will remind you of. All right, well, we got through that in a good amount of time. This feels good. So, we have one character to match. Are you ready to talk about Momonosuke? He's just a little guy caught up in things that are above his pay grade, because he's just a child. I hope you are, because I know I am.
Oh yeah.
So, Momonosuke, my Rodrigo-style pitch, Louise Belcher. Because you see how Momonosuke's got that little hair tie in the back, and then the top knot. Imagine Louise Belcher's rabbit ears doing sort of a Usagi Yojimbo. Are you down with Usagi Yojimbo, Janine?
You know I am.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I started reading some of the classic comics. I've also been playing the Ninja Turtles Hades type game. That was pretty fun. Yeah, Louise similarly has a very strong sense of justice and her own moral code, while also kind of being devious. We've seen a bit less of the Momonosuke deviousness, but I think it fits. I think that they both get upset at not being called short. My throwback is Hubert Wong, who has mostly appeared as a background character. He first appeared in Treehouse of Horror 20, and then he made another background appearance. He's going to be getting a bigger part soon. Eventually, he is teased as a potential Lisa romantic crush, which is a wild one. But, you know, this is sort of planning for the future with Momonosuke. And then, as a classic choice, I put in a cosign from the Super Friends, because their hair is similar enough. And I feel like if we can cast an Asian character for Momonosuke, maybe we try and do that. So who are you bringing to the party, Janine?
I've got 3 choices that...
Oh.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them.
There are. Very first one. My Rodrigo pick.
Mm-hmm.
Stewie Griffin.
Jesus. Uh-huh.
Let's see. And then I have a couple of other picks. The Red Dragon from Goo Goo Gaipan.
Mm-hmm.
For, you know, a dragon being a dragon. Of course, I know this is a child, but also, why stop being a dragon? And then my final pick is the mayor's illegitimate baby with Cookie Kwan that has a little sash that says Mayor's Baby.
All right, well, let's see. That is the fan suggestion call-in. Our audience has suggested a few people. Mike Patten, our artist, suggested Billy, the kid from all of those infomercials. Reverse Eye Patch suggested Tina Belcher. And Atticus suggested Kearney. So we have a wide array of characters.
Can we talk about why Stewie Griffin is the best one?
If I tell you that I have a better pick for Stewie in the future, will that help?
Not at all.
What if I tell you it's a giant toddler who can make weapons and technology?
I tell you, we still have a Rollo. We got a lot of different other.
How much of the Cleveland
babies.
show have you watched?
I don't know, man. I'm going by what I know, and that is a couch gag.
Okay, no, I have also. That was literally I have not watched the Cleveland show. You know that I am team American Dad.
That is true, and I would imagine you to be very protective over Steve or Klaus.
Oh, God.
What, you're thinking about Steve right now?
No, I'm thinking about Klaus Heisler as Kaido, but you have no idea who Kaido is right now, so we can table that. I have concerns about using Stewie Griffin, especially because Momonosuke. I'm going to go to the One Piece wiki. Oh, okay, that's why I did leave an O out of the name on the spreadsheet. Momonosuke. Say it with me, Janine. Momonosuke.
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 Netsuke. That's a different thing. That's from Bob's Burgers episode. I don't feel like I don't want to use Stewie Griffin here.
So you decided to go with the mayor's baby.
The unnamed baby who I think that we can use a bigger character here, but Red Dragon does not give us a human form, and we're going to see a lot more human form of Momonosuke. Mayor's baby with Cookie Kwan is such a small, obscure character for Momonosuke, who is a 5-star character who we're going to have with us for like 400 episodes.
Okay, but like...
Yes, I do like butts. I cannot lie.
A permanent accessory of Mayor's son on a character already got to be pretty good.
But if we're using that specifically as a factor, then are you comfortable with saying that Troy McClure is actually his son if Kinemon is actually Momonosuke's father? Because I don't see no paternity test. I see a weird old guy traveling around the cold looking after this boy, and there's a whole bunch of things there that could be. It could be a lone wolf and cub, which is something that is referenced in Bob's Burgers in an episode where Louise Belcher really loves watching that show with her dad.
Well, I certainly can't see your choices very well.
How do you feel about Tina Belcher?
The appropriate level of little nerd, I think, but I don't know. Tina has a specific kind of weird girl energy, and this kid is just very specifically freak boy energy. It's a similar. I'll give you that, but there's differences.
Sorry. Okay, please fill in like 10 seconds of time while I process this absolutely insane choice that I am debating, Janine. You're not filling in 10 seconds of time, Janine. I need you to talk for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I first I got to a point where I was like, what do I talk about for 10 seconds? And then I realized, wait a second, I'm not talking. And yeah, have you ever? I'm sure anybody who's listening to this would have been able to instantly Leo pointed at their own ears as they're listening to this and say, "Oh yeah, definitely, I've been there."
That football-headed monster. You know that Stewie Griffin is getting a spinoff, right?
I'm surprised he's the one that gets the spinoff, but okay.
Yeah, he's going to do like a travel through the multiverse show.
That sounds terrible. I hate it, but okay.
God. Peter Griffin as Blackbeard, or specifically Homer clone Peter Griffin as Blackbeard, worked for a very specific reason, which was he fits as the antithesis of The Simpsons in a lot of ways, as the antithesis of Luffy's dream, as the antithesis of sort of like the comedy of The Simpsons. I
don't even really consider this to be like canon Stewie Griffin because this is a yellow Stewie, and I do believe we do see a different Stewie later.
I believe we will. Let me double check, because I love to be thorough.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, we wouldn't cover Simpsons guy until next year. He will appear later on, but not for a bigger part of things. It's disturbing how off model some of these characters are. I'm looking at I'm looking at yellow Peter Griffin in one of the pages, and it's just like his head is just kind of too narrow, and in the big group shot, the Bob's Burgers characters look close enough on model, but that Steve Smith just looks bad. That's the pilot version of American Dad, Steve Smith. God, part of me is oh, I should have put Steve Smith on there because he is the right type of nerd who would be oh, I can't be a dragon. Oh, I'm so hungry. I have a weird code of honor. I think Steve Smith is a fascinating character, especially when they get into gender and sexuality stuff with them in a way that they kind of were going on pretty heavy for a while, and then they just abandoned. This is not my American Dad Hunter podcast, American Dad Hunter, or American Hunter Dad Hunter.
Actually, you call it Dad Hunter, and it would actually be the same show.
Yeah. Oh, this is why it's lucky we only had Momonosuke.
Yep. I mean, if you want to say Steve Smith, I'd be willing to accept that, and you get the point.
Oh, do I dare?
I mean, if we're going to be stuck with this kid for a while, wouldn't it be cool if it was Steve?
Okay. How do you feel about Steve as a sexual entity? Not as someone that you would be sexually interested in, but as someone who you would have being... Now, Steve Smith has been kind of horny from the jump. That's been fuck, I think we're going with Steve Smith.
Oh, yeah.
But I am splitting this, so you and I get the point.
Okay.
Because I am very generous.
I'm not going to turn down generosity.
You don't spit on hospitality.
I mean, unless they ask for it.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're in the village of Nilbog. All right. Well, that kind of wraps us up for this episode. Our Momonosuke is Steve Smith from American Dad. I can't wait to see how soon it takes for us to regret this. But you know what? The American Dad subreddit is going to be just really excited. That's right, Dadders. DohMance Done is a bi-weekly podcast. That means we update every other week. We'll be back in 2 more weeks, but until then, Janine, where can you be found?
You can find me on Blue Sky, JanineJuliet.biscuit.social. Also on Instagram, Janine is dope. I also do another podcast, Wrestle Girlies, with my friend Flighty Butt Lass. And that's going to update. Don't worry about it. Luke, where can the people find you?
You can find me most places online is at Koltreg. That's Koltreg. I'm on Blue Sky. I am on Reddit. Yeah. I mostly get on there to see, hey, can I tell if this image is AI or not? And yeah, I'm so pretty consistent about that, which is helpful. Don't use AI. Pay more money than you should to hire artists to draw your weird One Piece and Simpsons fan art. Our podcast is edited by Andie, who is lovely and talented and wonderful. Thank you for editing this, Andie. Thank you for making us sound good. You can find her at winf.co.uk on Blue Sky. That's WYNF.co.uk. And our cover this week is by Mike Patten. You can find most places as Patten Pending. That's PATTENPENDING. Follow him wherever you look for cool art. And feel free to commission him to draw you cool art. So, DohMance Dawn, updates at DohManceDon.com. We also have a YouTube where you can leave comments on the show, or you can join our Discord. If you message us on Blue Sky or send an email asking for the Discord access, we will happily send that, because it is a cool place to hang out with people and discuss so many things, mostly root beer. And then today there was a discussion about those Mountain Dew Dunkin' those Mountain Dew Dunkers, but they are not Dunkin' Donuts Dunkers, because it would make more sense if they were Dunkin' Donuts Dunkers with Mountain Dew. God, I want one of those. They're like Slimer green.
Yeah, I'm a little bit intimidated by them. I'm not gonna lie. You can definitely try them first and let me know how it goes.
Would you eat Slimer? He would not be into it, if that helps.
I don't know if that's better or not.
All right. Well, we will be back in 2 more weeks as things really start to freeze up. Wait, what? Catch you then. Smooth sailing.